There are many steps that go into the process of a trial in a courtroom. From an outside point of view, it may look very difficult and convoluted, but when broken down, it can become very simple. Firstly, the presentation has to be proven to be valid by showing it to the opposing counsel and getting it approved by the court. There are a couple ways that evidence can be disapproved of. Evidence can be disapproved of if it is deemed to be too disturbing or just present for shock value. It can also be disallowed if the data provided cannot be challenged or tested. This is important because turning up to court without valid evidence is a huge issue. No evidence means there's no argument for your side of the trial, so making sure it is valid is crucial for a successful courtroom process. Once the trial begins, it is important to remain as calm as possible. The people speaking have to make sure everyone in the courtroom can understand clearly what they are saying and why they are saying these things. When a question is asked, it should be answered to the best of their ability without overextending into other topics that may have already been discussed or will be discussed. A testimony is always split into five separate parts, the first being voir dire. This is a process in which a jury is chosen from groups of people because they have been deemed to be truthful. The second step is the direct testimony from the witness explaining to the courtroom what he or she saw. The third step is called cross examination, and it is where the witness asks questions from the opposing counsel to prove that the direct testimony was truthful. Following this is a process of redirect and recross examination, where the witness has to answer more questions from the opposing lawyers on the other side of the case. Once the witness has testified, then it is up to the judge to let him go or make him stay for more questioning. There are so many people involved in a courtroom trial that each play a different role. The main role of an attorney is to defend his or her client's constitutional rights, no matter what. If the prosecutor tries to violate the rights of a defendant, that is when an attorney would step in. Attorneys are also important because they're the ones who elect judges. In a courtroom, the judge has the most power out of anyone else. They can punish misconduct, they can punish witnesses who refuse to answer questions, or those who fail to show up to the court when ordered to. The judge also provides a sentence to the defendant if he or she is proven guilty. To sum it up, if there are any questions regarding the law, any misconduct in the courtroom, or any court absences, a judge is in charge of all of that. A jury is a group of citizens who are chosen through the process of voir dire to present themselves in court. These people are supposed to have no biases towards the case and are supposed to be completely neutral. In the end, they are the ones who decide if the defendant is guilty or innocent. An expert witness is someone who has certain expertise or is very knowledgeable about a topic present in the trial. An example of this would be a forensics expert who can interpret evidence differently to how normal people can. This makes his or her presence important because they help the evidence become more clear to someone in the jury who may not completely understand. However, even though an expert is very knowledgeable, they still have to appeal to the human side of the jury. An important part of an expert's role in court is to know how to talk to an audience effectively. Lastly, the place where all trials are held is also important to talk about. District courts are most often used, whether it be a civil or criminal court case. There are several district courts across the United States. The most well known court in the United States is the Supreme Court. It has the most power and authority of any other court. Mentioned in the Constitution, it has been the most important court in the U.S. since the inception of the three branches of government.